Beneath the haunting beauty of Louisiana's bayous, in the shadows of its sleepy towns, a predator lurked. Ronald Dominique, known as the Bayou Strangler, evaded capture for over a decade, while claiming the lives of at least 23 men. Today, we delve into the less-known, chilling details of his crimes and the investigation that finally brought him to justice. Dominique's reign of terror spanned from 1997 to 2006, a period during which he preyed on vulnerable men, often those living on the fringes of society. His choice of victims, primarily young, marginalized men, some homeless or involved in sex work, made his crimes even more heinous. During this nearly decade-long period, Dominique's actions cast a shadow of fear over Louisiana's small towns. He prowled the streets and bars, searching for those he deemed easy targets, young men who society often overlooked. His victims, ranging in age from their late teens to mid-30s, were individuals whose disappearances wouldn't immediately raise alarms, a tactic that allowed Dominique's gruesome work to go unnoticed for years. What's particularly disturbing about Dominique's method was his exploitation of vulnerability. He preyed on the needs and struggles of these young men, offering them rides, money, or a place to stay. This false sense of security he created was swiftly replaced by terror once his true intentions became apparent. In the communities affected, Dominique was an almost phantom-like figure. He was able to blend into the background, using his nondescript appearance to his advantage. It was this ability to appear harmless that enabled him to continue his predatory behavior, leaving a trail of grief and unanswered questions. The harsh reality of Dominique's crimes sheds light on broader societal issues. His targeting of marginalized groups speaks to a disturbing trend seen in serial murder cases, where perpetrators exploit the less visible members of society. This pattern raises important questions about social awareness and protection for these vulnerable populations. Ronald Dominique's reign of terror is not just a tale of a serial killer. It's a grim reminder of the shadows that exist in society, where the unnoticed and unprotected can become prey to those lurking in the dark, waiting to exploit their vulnerability. Residents recall Dominique as a nondescript figure, someone who blended into the background, unremarkable in appearance and demeanor. This ability to fly under the radar enabled him to carry out his crimes undetected for years. He exploited his victims' trust, often using the guise of offering work or a place to stay to lure them into his trap. Dominique's method of killing was consistent and brutal. He would sexually assault his victims before strangling them to death. The bodies were then discarded in remote areas, often in the bayous or sugarcane fields, making their discovery and identification a daunting task for law enforcement. It wasn't until the late 2000s that a pattern began to emerge, linking the series of murders. Forensic evidence, including DNA, was scarce, and many of the bodies were in advanced stages of decomposition when found, further complicating the investigation. A crucial breakthrough came when one potential victim managed to escape. His description of Dominique and his vehicle provided law enforcement with their first concrete lead. This was a pivotal moment that shifted the trajectory of the investigation. Dominique was eventually apprehended in 2006. During interrogation, he confessed to the murders, providing disturbing details about his actions. He revealed that he targeted those he thought would not be missed, reflecting a cold, calculated approach to his selection of victims. In his confession, Dominique claimed that his motive for killing was fear of imprisonment. He believed that by murdering his victims, he could avoid being charged with rape. This twisted logic only added a layer of horror to his already gruesome acts. Dominique's trial was a somber affair, with the families of the victims seeking justice for their lost loved ones. In 2008, he was sentenced to 8 life sentences without the possibility of parole, bringing a small measure of closure to the families and the communities he terrorized. The aftermath of Dominique's crimes left a lasting impact on Louisiana. His case raised questions about societal attitudes towards marginalized communities and the challenges they face in gaining attention from law enforcement and media. To this day, the story of Ronald Dominique, the Bayou Strangler, serves as a grim reminder of the evil that can hide in plain sight. It's a tale that highlights the importance of vigilance and the need to protect the most vulnerable in society. As we conclude our journey into the dark waters of Ronald Dominique's crimes, we are reminded of the complex tapestry of human nature and the mysteries that often remain hidden until it's too late. If this exploration into one of Louisiana's darkest secrets has intrigued you, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the hidden chapters of criminal history.